Welcome to VinMap's studio, where we explore fabulous wines, their winemakers, what's in the bottle, and then we get to taste. I'm your host and founder of VinMaps, Suzi Perez, and today I'm delighted to share with you and explore this beautiful Damsel 2019 Boushey Vineyard 100% Cabernet Franc. Damsel Cellars is a boutique winery out of Woodinville, Washington. So in the next segment here, I'd like to talk a little bit about the winemaker. And Mary Womack is the owner and winemaker at Damsel Cellars. And they're currently literally in their 10th harvest. So that's awesome. Bravo, ladies. And Mary was recently featured alongside some other women Washington State winemakers in the Seattle Met magazine. And this bottle in particular received the double gold in the 2022 Belle and Bottle Awards. So that's pretty cool. So prior to Mary becoming a winemaker, she had already had a very successful career in the restaurant business in and around Seattle for 20 plus years. Through this experience, she became fascinated with wine and food pairing, fine wine and food pairing, and decided that she would like to become a winemaker and have her own brand and winery someday. So with that in mind, in 2009, she set out for Woodinville to fully immerse herself in learning all about winemaking. And initially, she volunteered at wineries such as Obelisco and Belle, and then eventually ended up as assistant winemaker alongside Darby English at Damsel Cellars in Woodinville. So our next segment is all about what's in the bottle. And here we have the Damsel 2019 Boushey Vineyard Cabernet Franc. 100% Cabernet Franc, varietal. And that's something that Mary seems to like to do, is work with the mono-varietal single vineyard aspect, which is really cool. And this clocks in at 14.6 ABV. And this is sourced again from the Boushey Vineyards entirely out of Yakima Valley. And the vineyard sites a 2-mile radius of vineyards that Richard and Luann Boushey have out there in Yakima Valley, about 5 miles north of Grandview. And the elevation is from about 700 to 1,200 feet. So the Boushey Vineyards in the Yakima Valley American Viticultural Area, these are mostly sited south-facing. And so this is wonderful for the grapes during the growing season. And this sort of acts as a solar panel. So during the growing season, those vines get to heat up, and then at night there's a cooling that goes on. East of the Cascade Range, of course, there's quite a bit less precipitation. It's a totally different animal in terms of climate and terroir and all of that. In any case, Mary says that with this diurnal shift going on, the Cabernet Franc grapes, the acids are going to be well balanced, and that also keeps the sugar from getting out of control those cool nights. As well, with the Cab Franc, they try to let it hang there for as long as possible during the growing season. That way, the pyrazine compounds, those sort of bitter green or bitter flavors that can occur with Cab Franc are much less. So I asked Mary about the 2019 growing season, and she said it was kind of a weird year, that mid-October there was a cold snap that took temperatures below freezing, and they had to harvest the Cabernet Franc about 10 days sooner than they normally would. So with this Cab Franc, there's a brightness of red fruit and the savory herbaceous notes, Mary says. And this can be paired with many different foods. She suggested to me, this is via email, she's kind enough to get back to me with some follow-up questions I had. She says that one of her favorites is herbed chicken with tzatziki with olives and grilled pita, which sounds wonderful. So that's one thing that Mary strives for in crafting her wines, that they'll always pair well with food and they'll never overpower the food. And so with the CF in particular here, they never use new French oak. They always use once used or neutral French oak, and then they bottle after 18 to 20 months. Okay, so this is the segment in our production here that we're going to actually be getting into the wine and looking at the color and sniffing and swirling and just enjoying. Looks just gorgeous, ruby red color. Yep, ruby red, medium ruby. And I didn't pour a whole lot here, but I can almost see the stem, but there is some opacity there. So you can see this is, hopefully you can see that. It's a nice ruby red color, gorgeous. And I'm gonna be looking for some savory herbaceous notes and other fun things here. I already feel rejuvenated. I was getting a little tired here after so many takes. This is wonderful. Definitely getting already some herbaceous, some roasting spices, I would say. My descriptions may be a little bit similar, but maybe not. So everyone's palate is different, right? So yeah, I'm getting some berry, some maybe some red fruits there. Maybe some graphite. Beautiful spices going on. Okay, I'm gonna taste. I'm gonna taste. No testing here. Well, I get both red and dark fruits with this. I immediately think of red and black plum, blackberry, some raspberry. There's a beautiful, sort of sensuous roasted bell pepper there, but it's just very, very subtle, kind of in the background. And little light white pepper notes. Beautiful balance of the tannins and the acid. Beautiful velvet mouthfeel. And this is one reason why I love Cab Franc. This is one reason why I chose to feature this in this video, is because I love Cabernet Franc. It's one of my favorite varieties. And when it's varietal, mono varietal, I get really excited when winemakers make a single varietal Cab Franc. I think it's also really interesting that Cabernet Franc, the grape, is a co-parent with Sauvignon Blanc of Cabernet Sauvignon. It's fascinating to me. And as this opens up, you're gonna find those flavors and aromas just keep building up and coming through. And this is another thing I love about Cabernet Franc is there's a beautiful complexity and depth, and yet there's this balance and a sort of a spelt elegance about it. Just love this variety. I wanted to say, I'm gonna have to do a little reading here because Mary puts it in a wonderful way. Within the description of this Cabernet Franc, she says, quote, "This is a wine that showcases the power of single status. This is a confident wine that doesn't rely on anything else other than its own expression." And the descript ends with, "Drink with confidence." I love that. It's really cool. And I asked Mary what one of her favorite aspects of winemaking is, and she said that one of the most satisfying parts of winemaking is being able to share it, the final product, with others. Says Mary, and I quote, "I love the idea that something I made is out in the world and being enjoyed by people in all kinds of settings. Damsel wine has been served now at 4 weddings of wine club members and friends, and it's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Says a lot if you're featuring this at your wedding. I did ask Mary if she has a favorite variety that she enjoys working with, and she said Syrah. In fact, I believe they have 2 Syrahs that they do there. And she enjoys this varietal because it gives her a lot of freedom to experiment, such as whole cluster fermentations, adding stems, co-fermenting with other varietals. And so it gives her flexibility to have some fun, but also deliver a lovely product, a lovely wine. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, our exploration into Damsel Cellars' beautiful Boushey Vineyard 2019 Cabernet Franc. And I hope to see you in the next video, where I may be a bit unrecognizable, as I love fall, love harvest, love Halloween, and I find it to be a very creative, inspiring time. So with that, cheers and happy autumn, if you happen to be in the Northern Hemisphere, that is. Take care.